Good morning. It's been a while, huh? Car Chronicles. A lot of times my thoughts come when I'm alone or when I first wake up. When I first wake up, that won't be when you see me come on live. Anyway, just wanted to jump on and lean in and talk about trauma. A lot of people are talking about trauma because it's very prevalent, right? But a lot of people talking about traumas aren't being transparent, right? They're talking about trauma, they're talking about triggers, but then they're still not divulging what it is they've been triggered by, or they've been traumatized by, or whatever it may be that is enabling them or has caused them to purge or to become an advocate for trauma, right? And no stabs at anybody, but I'm just overall, what I've been observing is people talking about traumas because it's trendy, but then not being transparent about why they are addressing traumas or what trauma really is. And I'm not telling people or trying to encourage anyone to expose things that they aren't healed from, because usually a person that's not healed shouldn't talk about what it is that has triggered them, or because it still can become a trigger, or it can just be that situation that advocates people into a discussion where they just kind of dump and vent. That is not what healing or purging from your trauma should be when you're trying to help someone else, right? So as I am facilitating and addressing certain issues with people, I have learned that the only way you can help someone is if they come from a place of humility where pride is out the window. Because when you don't have the ability to be transparent, it means you're still proud about something, or you're concealing things. Everything doesn't have to be exposed. I don't need to know names, I don't need to know dates, I don't need to know all of that, and I'm not going to divulge all of mine. But what it is the humility and the lowliness to say, look, I have gone through this and I have come out, and this is how. And no, I'm not okay all the time. Healing is a constant, intentional, present work that you have to do. So everybody jumping on the trauma bandwagon, true enough, it can be traumatic to lose a job. It can be traumatic to go through a divorce and then have to start all over. It can be traumatic to lose a child, or a traumatic situation, lose a parent. But how did you come out of it? It could be traumatic to be raised in an abusive household. We're not holding on to those things though, right? Because see, trauma comes in forms of suppressing as well. A lot of times people have suppressed so long and they don't want to call things that are what they are. Abusive relationships, being in a relationship where you fight physically or verbally, can be emotionally and mentally traumatizing. But a lot of times we want to normalize it and say, well, he cussed me out and I cussed him out back, or he hit me and I hit him back, or he cheated and I cheated back. But that is injurious in relationships. Those are traumatic and toxic, right? So I just wanted to kind of address that. Like, when we're talking about traumas and telling people that we are here to help and facilitate them and heal and talk about things that have been long suppressed, that's traumatic, because at some point it's going to work its way out. And it goes through phases, just like the phases and stages of grief. There is disbelief, there is anger, there's guilt, there is disconnect sometimes, and then there is that thing where you just want to suppress or act like it didn't happen because people don't want to feel emotions. I had a conversation earlier and I was talking about us as women. When we don't heal from our traumas, if we're still in childbearing age or child rearing ages, we pass those traumas on to our children. We give birth and we nurse those traumas. I know, me being a child who has experienced emotional and sexual abuse, my kids couldn't spend the night everywhere. You could not. Don't ask me to go over nobody's house. Don't ask me to stay in nobody's house. That was liable to get you beat. But it was out of a triggered trauma. I know that I'm not there to protect. So now you asking me and then being insistent about it is going to get you a whooping, because I wasn't ready to divulge that information to my children, because still you want them to grow up with this mindset that things, things are innocent, but it's not. So now more than ever in this day and age of information, like protecting your children, even protecting yourself, your own mind, what you hear, what you ingest, what you watch on the television, those things that desensitize, you have to be very, very, very careful. Like conversations in the company you entertain, people that you entertain, because people will do things, and bad company corrupts good morals. All of those things can trigger traumas or take you back to places where you've outgrown, spaces you've outgrown. So it's constantly dealing with trauma, and healing is a reintroduction to self, re-examining yourself, checking yourself. I am constantly checking my governor, checking my parameters, checking my mindset, what I'm looking at, what my eyes are intrigued by. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm in the beauty industry, so embellishing, making people look beautiful, decorating the exterior. But what I have found in my 26 years of this profession is that people are covering, and that's why I'm here. That's why I have written Beauty from Brokenness. That's why I started dealing with the cookbooks and food for life. Everything starts internally, and there's a root to everything. Even to not always go off on this tangent, but it's so important. Ingesting food, men you sleep with, ingesting and receiving certain people, personality, spirits, and all of those things are important. What you let happen in your ears, in your head, what you take in, because in your mind is the battlefield where things begin to resonate and take root and grow. So dealing with trauma means constantly purging and checking yourself. I jumped on but hey, that's his business, right? But I jumped on Clubhouse, and I'm listening to people, and they purge and they're talking, and being an empath and being somebody that always is looking for a solution to a problem, because that's just what I do. I have to purge. I have to get off, and if it's even taking deep breaths, if it's just praying for the person that I listen to, I have to remove those things from my mind, because we internalize things and we process it, and then we sometimes compartmentalize it and make it a part of who we are, or bring it to situations that we're in, and it's not us. It's not our stuff. It's somebody else's that we've taken on. And that's a lot of what trauma is too. Things that have happened to you in relationships and childhood and growth was somebody else being a steward over what they had been entrusted to, right? If I was married to you, I entrusted you with my heart, and when you mishandle it, you were a poor steward of the love I gave you. Wasn't anything wrong with me, but we begin to internalize it, and because of pride, we suppress it. We don't want people to know what we've been through, but the whole world already knew, because sometimes some of these Negroes running around here being cats, rats, and dogs, operating in darkness, and the spotlight is on them. So it's not a big secret, right? Same thing with being sick. You never know who you have in your sphere of as an audience who's watching you to see how you overcome being sick, how you've overcome going through a divorce, how you've overcome losing loved ones and being on a platform and things being embarrassing and worrying about what people are saying. People gonna talk. My aunt always says that. She said people gonna talk about you whether you live live or dead, and they gonna even try to come to your funeral to see what you look like. People are always going to have something to say. Just make sure when they say it, it's the truth. So trauma and dealing with trauma and addressing traumas is really a part of the person facilitating these conversations living out loud, unapologetically, speaking truth to power, being powerful, saying, yeah, I did this. Yeah, I've been exposed to this. Yeah, this has happened to me, but I am not a victim. I have empowered myself by the brokenness or by the embarrassing things that have happened that other people won't speak to. I'm going to say something about it. That's what makes us our words and our testimony and our presence so powerful. And yeah, people sit back and watch and they talk, and it's socially, right now we're practicing socially distancing. I'm socially selective because everything in every circle isn't for everybody. So I don't care about the people that don't support what it is I'm saying or might think it's a gimmick to it. I don't have no skin in the fight with them. I'm doing what I know I have been equipped to deliver. The Most High has brought me out of some dark, dark places and some horrible mindsets and circumstances, and from materialism to humbling me on a lot of different arenas and areas. And I'm not ashamed to say that I am a better person because of it. I've learned resilience by being rejected. I've learned to be resilient because I know, like some people, I don't have certain relationships with parents that I could go to and even get the support I need. So I've had to learn to accept others who have come into my path that see the need and meet the need in my life, and that's what I've adopted to do as well. So people not supporting, I don't waste time on that. I'm not wasting time. I'm not a gimmick. I'm gonna do this whether I get paid to do it, whether I get a grant to do it, whether you support what I write, whether you support what I say. I'm gonna say it because somebody somewhere is healed from it. It's not about that, because my needs are always met. I believe a workman is worthy of their hire, though. If you are experienced and have an expertise in an area and a craft, by all means you should be compensated for it, because in the first rule of economics, there are no free lunches. There is always an opportunity cost. Something else has to slack when a person helps or takes time out of their day or has went and got information. They've studied, they've self-taught, they've gone to school, whatever it is, they've paid for it. So investing is just that, investing in yourself, because that's what a person does when they come and they ask you for information. Today is just me letting you know what goes on in my head. That's all. And also leaning in and being transparent about what I feel, how I see things. And hey, again, like I said, there's neither here nor there. Whatever floats your boat is what floats your boat. However you feel is how you feel. You're entitled to your feelings. But what I'm talking about is this new trend of people talking about trauma. We are traumatized right now as a nation of people. And I say a nation of people, I say people of color, dealing with systems who keep trying to tell us that we're practicing reverse racism or supremacy or whatever it is, when we don't have the power, the resources, the land, the collective power, first of all, to even get on one accord. I see women and businesses that can't function or flourish because everybody worried about somebody doing more or getting more than them. It's enough to go around. Collectively and collaboratively, boy, we'd be some bad people if we would just get out of that Jim Crow Willie Lynch mentality. But again, that's still trauma. And that was a diabolical scheme and a scam, by the way, because nobody but the devil could think of something that'll separate a powerful group of people for as long as it has separated us. Okay, but back to traumas. Let's start addressing our traumas, calling them out, what they are. If it's a trauma, or if it's the fear of being rejected, if it's because you've been abandoned, if it's because you've experienced a divorce, whatever, call it out. Call it out. Dealing with a narcissist, dealing with people with personality disorders, because it's a whole lot of that going around. I've seen this one post where it says set boundaries because audacity is at an all-time high. No, personality disorders are at an all-time high, and people just now seeing them, and nobody has spoken to those situations and addressed them, so people continue to cross boundaries. And then people call people like me crazy when I set boundaries, and when I ask you not to do certain things to me or say certain things to me, and then I call you out on them. It's not crazy. I'm setting boundaries because don't nobody protect me but me, and don't nobody protect me like I protect me. So again, speaking truth to power, unapologetically, unashamed, having a true love for those that you're helping. I don't love you whether you monetize or pay me to do it. I love people because I just love people. I'm friendly to people I'm just friendly to. If I'm not friendly to you, know you've done something to me. Point blank, period. That's it. And even if I don't care for you, I'm not mean to you. Don't be mean to me. I'm not going to be mean to you. We just avoid each other like trains passing in the night. But conflict can be resolved. Traumas take work to get past, but don't use it as a trend. It's not trendy. Traumas have been around for a long time. It's just now something that's trending and people finding a way to monetize it. No, let's really help, and let's really heal, and let's really grow, and let's really encourage, and let's really inspire. And I will talk to you soon. And if you want to know where you can find any of my content, I am on She's Keepin' No G, itroyal.com. Search Nia Marie. I facilitate and help you organize your thoughts, help you think of a plan for writing a book, journaling, starting a business, or just, again, a safe place to just kind of get a new perspective on how it is you're feeling and find out you're really not crazy as you think you are. In the meantime, have a wonderful day. Enjoy your Sunday. Blessings, peace, and I'm out.